teach these guys. They know what it is to work really, really hard to produce energy. They're more than capable of building wind turbines in Appalachia.
Yep.
And they don't live underground and get black lung disease anymore. Why aren't we doing that? Forget the shithole jokes. We're going to India.
Okay.
We're going to get right into it because this is important.
All right.
Click subscribe. Charles, what do you know about the Bhopal disaster?
Nothing. I've never heard of it.
That is not surprising.
Okay.
Because the Bhopal disaster is one of the worst industrial accidents ever, and almost no one has heard about it.
Okay.
Because Union Carbide and Dow Chemical have spent a fortune making sure nobody ever learns about it.
All right.
You catch my drift?
Yes. So this video may never actually surface, is what you're saying.
I don't know.
I mean, not that we get a ton of viewers anyway, but...
Bhopal is a city in India. Obviously, that's why we're looking through these Indian slums.
All right.
At the time, in 1984, December of 84 into January of 85, was the Bhopal disaster.
Okay.
The city of, at the time, 800,000 people. Now it's a little over 1.2 million.
All right.
Dow Chemical and Union Carbide had a pesticide plant on the outskirts of this town, of this city of 800,000.
I can already see things going bad, but go on.
Of course, Dow Chemical and Union Carbide, being ethical, multi-billion-dollar international corporations, were very, very strict about their safety regulations and policies. And I'm fucking around, of course. They didn't give a shit. It was neglected as fuck because they don't give a fuck. Oh, I'm trying to...
try to be nice. Look what's happening.
Trying to edit out. There had been some incidents. The plant at the time was producing methyl isocyanate, which is an extremely toxic, deadly, poisonous chemical used in...
It has the word cyanide in it.
Okay.
So
It's used in pesticides.
Right.
So before 1984, December of 84, there had been some incidents where a few years before, a valve failed and it splashed this guy.
Oh.
And he got it all over his skin. It's not sure if his mask malfunctioned or somehow the chemicals ate through the mask. Somehow he got splashed and he inhaled a lot of this. And after 3 agonizing days in the hospital of respiratory failure, he finally dies.
All right.
A few years later, I don't know, early 80s, 82, 81, 82, something like that, 24 people get exposed to a leak and are really, really seriously injured and require care. It really fucked them up. Every year since the creation of this fucking thing, there's been some type of leak. People get hurt all the time.
Well, I have to imagine you're dealing with an extremely toxic, extremely dangerous chemical.
Yeah.
And you're probably dealing with it in massive, massive quantities.
Industrial quantities.
So, yeah, an accident is probably going to happen, and when it does happen, it's probably going to be catastrophic.
Amongst the ultra poor that nobody fucking gives a shit about.
God, okay. Yeah.
And we'll touch on that a bit later on, too. So much so that after, like, the 4th or 5th accident, when those 24 guys got hurt, I don't know if it was the government or a local labor union or somebody went and investigated and did a quick inspection and said, holy shit, we've built this city of 1 million people next to an active volcano. And nobody listened.
Of course not.
Finally, December of 1984, there's a massive, massive accident and a leak of several hundred tons of this shit evaporates, and suddenly this giant cloud of hundreds of tons of methyl isocyanate is just a cloud now floating towards the city of 800,000 people at 2 in the morning when everybody's asleep.
Of course.
Holy shit! Sound the alarm! So there's 2 alarms, one that sounds inside the factory, like to evacuate, and one that sounds outside the factory. Except, there's so many fucking leaks in this place, people are getting mad that every day the leak alarm is going off. Just shut off the outside.
Ignore it. Oh,
they turned it off.
Oh,
turn off the outside alarm because it goes off every day and people are getting mad.
This is like a car alarm.
Yeah.
Like your car alarm goes off at 2 a.m. and the only thing you can think of is, it's just stop. Just make it shut up. I don't even care. There could be somebody dying there. Yeah. And they're like, nah, just turn it off.
Except in this case, by the 4th night of that happening, they were like, just don't set the alarm anymore. So there was no warning.
Brilliant.
Okay, now it stops getting funny because it instantly kills 4,000 people.
Oh, damn.
Who are asleep in their beds, who never woke up the next day. Another 20-something thousand die in the next couple days. Like the guy that inhaled too much and died after 3 days in the hospital.
Yeah, because you just can't reverse it.
A total of 500,000 people suffered some type of injury.
Oh, dang.
The area is still contaminated. You can't drink the water anywhere near the place. You can't go near the site. It's off limits. It's like Chernobyl. Nobody can even go near it, much less go clean it. Dow Chemical decides, all right, pay all these people. We'll make a deal with the government. We'll pay you guys what? How many people got hurt? We'll pay them each 25,000 rupees, Indian rupees, which is about 400 American dollars. And the government says, yeah, okay, sure. And Dow Chemical's like, all right, so I guess we're all squared away here. Fuck you, we're out of here. Boom, and they bounce
got
out.
the hell out of there.
They bounce out of there. And maintain, it's not our fault, man. We paid you guys. We didn't do anything.
Wow.
In the subsequent years, it's been 40 years now, kids, the closer you get to the site, which is the poorer you are and you have to live closer to that slum,
right?
Kids are routinely being born with these fucked up birth deformities, or just being stillborn, or have some kind of weird paralysis or genetic malformation.
Right.
It is still a nightmare to this day. If you can afford to have clean water bust into you, you do. If you can't,
you're drinking the tap, and
you're drinking contaminated groundwater.
And Dow had to pay what? A couple grand?
No, it ended up being like several. It was in the tens of millions.
Okay.
To basically say, okay, so we're cool, yeah, and we're out here. And to this day, deny responsibility for it. It's like, no, as far as we're concerned, we settled it.
Yeah.
And that is the state of the Bhopal gas leak, and the state of Bhopal today, which isn't this town, I don't think. But I assure you, it looks exactly like this shithole.
I'm sure it does. And none of this story surprises me. I mean, it is horrific and disgusting, but none of it surprises me. That Dow Chemical, the company that's literally what they do is they make chemicals, most of them horrifically toxic, and they said a whoopsie and killed a bunch of people, and then paid a bunch of people, and then just got the hell out of there. So that sounds about right.
The Bhopal plant has a sister factory. So it's basically a copy. They copy the same thing. The sister factory is in West Virginia. Mm-hmm. There's never been an accident there.
Well, no.
Because you're subject to OSHA and federal government. Well, up until 2024.
When we were like, we don't want unions anymore.
They were subject to oversight and regulation. But in India, of course, further compounded by the problem that India has a caste system. So you are born into a caste.
Okay.
So the highest caste is the Brahmins. They're your most educated, successful, wealthy. We'd call them like royalty or nobility.
Aristocrats.
So aristocrat.
Okay.
They're your clergy, your politicians, your business leaders, your wealthy elites.
Okay.
And then there's many classes under that. Your working class, your farmers, your merchants, your public servants. Sure. And all the way at the bottom are the untouchables, who are basically subhuman. Beat the shit out of them, use them as slave labor, sexual assault. They never get any justice because they don't count as human. They're subhumans. It's like, oh, you shot a man in the street. Well, but he was an untouchable. So it's like you shot a dog on the street. You really shouldn't do that, but we're not going to send you to jail. The most exploited humans on Earth are the Indian untouchables. And most of them are the ones that died. Right. So who gives a shit?
Oh, man.
So in 2019, you have Narendra Modi becomes Prime Minister of India.
Okay.
And one of his campaign promises was, we're going to do away with the caste system that has held our country back for thousands of years. From now on, we are only going to have two castes of people in India. The poor and the people who have means who are working to help the poor. He wins his election, takes office, and then, all right, what do we do to help the poor? Fuck it!
I feel like I've heard this story before.
Eventually, they did put out, after a lot of stink, after like decades of arguing and fighting, they finally put out an arrest warrant for the guy who is the Dow executive who was in charge of this, who fled to fucking New York years before.
Gone.
Like, yeah, we're not extradited. Go fuck yourselves.
Of course.
He eventually died like just a few years ago as a millionaire and never gave a shit.
Of course. So when we say we're gonna bring manufacturing jobs back to the U.S., is this one of them? Is like this is what we're going to be doing?
Well, that's a completely separate issue, right? Because the economy of the future is going to depend on AI,
right?
Solar energy, renewable energies, quantum computing, probably.
Probably.
You're talking about bringing back coal mining,
right? What we really need is the jobs where people have little screwdrivers and they screw the little things in over and over again. You mean
These
sweatshops?
are the guy.
This
the guy at the sewing
this-
machine we just saw. That's the jobs you want to bring back.
Yeah.
It's like
Who the hell wants to do that?
200 years ago, we realized, oh shit, we've killed all the whales. Now we're not gonna have lights anymore. It's okay. We've got this covered. Electric light bulbs. It's a new invention. It's available at the flick of a switch. It's clean. It doesn't pollute. It's readily available at all times. And somebody, no. We're gonna bring back whaling. Thousands of men depend on whaling for their job. We're not doing this faggy liberal bullshit. We're gonna go back to whaling. That's not how the real world.
No.
That's not how the real world works, man.
Jobs that we have here, I would like to think are slightly elevated beyond that.
It's a different economy.
It is. I don't know how to explain this. The jobs that I want here are the ones that put us behind desks, that bring in more money, that allow us to do the kind of work that we actually want to do, not the work we don't want to do. If that makes sense.
The economy.
I don't need sweatshops.
Right. The economy, like the rest of the world, moves on.
Right.
And it is your job to keep up with that. It's not the world's job to slow down because you can't keep up. Sorry. And that sucks for a lot of people because it's work to have to keep up.
Yeah.
That blows.
I'm sorry you have to learn a new skill. I'm sorry you have to keep up with trends, but
I had always said for years, you've got thousands of serious working men in Appalachia who grew up in the coal mines. Mm-hmm. Just because the coal mines aren't producing anymore, that labor force is still there. You can go build wind turbine blades there.
yeah.
You can teach these guys. They know what it is to work really, really hard to produce energy. They're more than capable of building wind turbines in Appalachia.
Yeah.
And they don't live underground and get black lung disease anymore. Why aren't we doing that? Why are we going to force these people to go back into the fucking coal mines? Teach them something else. Elevate the entire fucking community. They're capable of doing it, I promise you.
There's a lot of why aren't we doing that happening right now. Yeah. And apparently it's been happening for a long, long time.
Anyway, this went off rails.
Anyway, yeah,
these pieces of shit. Dow Chemical, Michigan company.
Oh, they are, aren't they?
Yeah,
I forgot about that. They are a Michigan-based company.
Up there in Midland.
Mm-hmm.
So this is this is what happens around the world.
Close to home, huh?
And this is not an uncommon story. Shit like this happens all the fucking... Holy shit, West Michigan, there was a tannery plant, a footwear plant. I want to say it was Wolverine boots, Wolverine footwear. Mm-hmm. There's an entire area of West Michigan still contaminated from where their tannery was.
Oh.
And like if you take water samples above, it comes up beautiful, pristine, clean Michigan water. Mm-hmm. If you take a sample downstream of the plant, it's full of toxic shit.
Of course.
And the Wolverine... Well, you don't know where those chemicals came from. Fuck you. Fuck you. You fucked it up. We all know you fucked it up. Just admit you fucked it up.
No, that'll cost money. They can't do that. What if people don't buy their shit anymore? I don't know. Obviously we'll want your comments down there, but we'd love to know, what stories are you familiar with? Like what would you call this? Corporate disasters?
Yeah.
What corporate disaster stories do you know that you'd like to share with us in the comments? And we'll look it up and figure out if it's worth talking about.
Yeah, we'll do a deep dive for you.
I'm curious. This is the first time we've done anything like this. I kind of enjoyed this.
Yeah,
I want to do some research with you next time, so I'm not coming in absolutely blind. But yeah, interesting.
Love this stuff.
All right. Well, you know what to do. Like, share, comment, subscribe. We'll catch you in another episode.
Rock on.
Later.